Ralo was trying to make sure that Dolph kids was taken care of, man. He knew at the end of the day that Dolph was the one that was giving back to the community and that Dolph needs somebody to give back to his family. That's the one thing about everybody, man. When all these people who's actually trying to give back to the hoods, give back to the communities they came from, they always the ones that's doing it, and no one ever does it back in return. Yeah, they got millions of money and everything like that, but who was giving Dolph birthday gifts? Who was giving back the kids something when Dolph passed, man? This is the reason why Ralo, he's stepping up and he's just taking a hold of this responsibility to make sure that Dolph kids get taken care of. Everything should have went back to young Dolph kids. If y'all rocking with young Dolph and you think that his items, his possessions, his millions of dollars, all the stuff he left on his will, if you think that should go to his kids and his family members, I want y'all to comment down below, like this video, and subscribe, because at the end of the day, man, we advocating for young Dolph. We trying to make sure that the whole legacy that he left behind, his name is still gonna be ringing bells and everything like that. A lot of people got to realize that once everything went away, after the funeral and everything, it was no more talk about Dolph from them, man. People, like, they were starting to forget about Dolph, and that's something that nobody could do, because he always made sure to let people know that he was there to help. He was there doing a lot of giveaways. Like, he gave people cars that had no rides to work. He gave people houses that couldn't pay rent. Like, he paid people's rent for a whole year, paid off and everything, and fixed their whole house up. He was taking people like who was about to lose it all, man, and bringing it all back to them. And this is the reason why Ralo, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to make sure that people understand the fact that somebody got to stand up for this dude. Somebody got to do something back to give to young Dolph family, as he was doing to everybody else, man. Dolph was like taking time out of his day to look out for people. He didn't have to do that. He really didn't have to do that. A lot of rich people, they don't have to sit back and actually try to help out. Like, they could be on vacation somewhere. They could be hiding in Bali like Yo Gotti does. A lot of the Yo Gotti people, Moneybagg Yo, they don't be giving back to Memphis, like, you know, and that's just a fact. Like, the fact that they be going to the vacations, they be flexing on the people of Memphis, riding the Bentley around town through the neighborhoods, riding the Rolls Royces, but they never are there to help when it comes down to the parades, the back to school drives, when somebody like important part of their family that's the breadwinner, when they go and they're not there to write a check and help out. This is why when Big Scar passed, Gucci Mane had to come all the way to Memphis to actually help the family and everything like that, because Yo Gotti and them didn't want to help Big Scar. They didn't want to pay for the funeral. They don't want to pay for the service and nothing like that. Young Dolph, he had to do that many, many times. He did that with a lot of people. Like, coming out of South Memphis, it didn't matter what neighborhood they was in. He even helped Grove Hero. Y'all got to remember the fact that Young Dolph was rocking with Grove Hero because Grove Hero, like, he was from Yo Gotti and Big Juke's neighborhood, and they told him, if you go and do a show with Dolph, if you do comedy with Dolph, whatever it is, that they never gonna rock with him again, and they gonna make sure that his career ends and all that. And this is why Dolph, he made sure to make Grove Hero a superstar, because Yo Gotti and them were basically threatening him, saying that he wasn't going to be nothing and they was going to take it all away from him just because he was talking to young Dolph. This is the jealousy, the greed, and the envy I'm talking about, because in the back of their heads, Yo Gotti and them knew that young Dolph was going to turn all these people into superstars that they didn't want to rock with no more. They didn't want to invest in it. The only reason they was even kicking it with Grove Hero was because they was holding him just to make sure Dolph didn't get a hold of him, because they knew that as long as they had it on their side, they wasn't going to let it slip away and go to Dolph, because they wanted to hold back Dolph for a lot of reasons, man. You got to understand, there was a lot of beef, there was a lot of hate. They was dissing each other in the songs for many, many years, whether it was the issues over the females, the baby mamas, the territory, being the king of Memphis, being the best rapper out of the city. It was a whole lot of things that Yo Gotti and young Dolph was in competition with, but Dolph didn't see it as a competition. He knew he was winning. He knew he was doing it the right way. Yo Gotti and them, they had to cut a lot of corners. They had to cheat a lot of people out of it. And this is the reason why when they tried to even sign Dolph, he didn't want to go with them, because he knew Yo Gotti would do anything to snake the artists and everything like that. Them old artists Yo Gotti used to have, nobody hears of him no more. And the only reason he got Moneybagg Yo was because young Dolph put Moneybagg Yo on. He gave him a free song. He gave him a free feature. He jumped on the beat with him. He went to the studio with him and literally introduced him to a lot of people. He got him the connections that made him who he is today. Young Dolph even told Moneybagg Yo to grow his hair out with the dread twists and everything, because he knew it was going to be better for him, for his image. He told him about every little thing to do. And then once it was convenient, Yo Gotti offer the bag and up the bag on him and everything like that, because he knew at the end of the day that Moneybagg Yo was willing to do whatever to go to anybody, and he didn't want to have to own nothing. He was willing to sign for whatever. So that's why Yo Gotti quickly upped the bread, and Young Dolph never even got a chance to make an offer to Moneybagg Yo, because Young Dolph was trying to teach Moneybagg Yo how to get it on his own, how to be the big boss man of this whole thing. He wasn't trying to just tell him that he got a little bread for him and a little check and that he gonna keep everything that he make. This is the proposition that Yo Gotti gave to Moneybagg Yo, and he scared him into signing him and everything like that. This is why Ralo, when he got out, the first thing he made sure to do was like right the wrongs that CMG did on Young Dolph, because there was a lot of bread, there was a lot of stuff that Dolph was supposed to get that a lot of people wasn't getting, man. A lot of the jewelry, the actual millions and dollars worth of diamonds, watches, expensive necklaces, expensive chains, like the PRE chain, that was supposed to go to the son. Daddy O got the biggest PRE chains, like all of the PRE chains, all of the Young Dolph jewelry. They went to his jewelry stash box. They opened it up. They seen every piece of collectible item. They even seen that Richard Mille, the Patek, the AP watch. And Daddy O and Key Glock, they took first dibs on everything. And then they gave some to Big Moochie Grape, Snoop Bands. They gave some to Bankroll Freddie. When Bankroll Freddie got locked up by the feds and raided, they found over like 3 different big Dolph pieces that actually had the blue diamonds in it. These are the rare collectible ones that Dolph was holding on to. He said in his songs he wasn't gonna sell. He said he busted down the Richard Mille because it was with blue diamonds in it. And those are, if anybody knows anything about how the jewelry game goes, you know for a fact that Young Dolph and Duke the Jeweler had the best jewelry in the whole entire industry, man. This is why a lot of people was actually trying to snake him the whole entire time. A lot of people was trying to set him up because they had it all going on many different facets, man. Like Young Dolph, he had the car collection, he had the jewelry, he had the businesses on lock. It was a lot of money. Dolph was pushing over $100 million in revenue every single year, man. This is the reason why Yo Gotti and them, it drove him so crazy to see the fact that Young Dolph didn't have to do no talking. He didn't have to do any more like trying to convince people about the money. He was actually trying to be low key about it because he was making way too much. And this is where the wolves in sheep clothing came in. A lot of people in his inner circle, they got way too close. And really, it was a lot of people who started off with Yo Gotti in them, and they was on both sides. This is why the crowds don't mix. This is why a lot of people, they got to like pay attention to everything. You can't trust everybody. And Young Dolph, he had a lot of people around him. They was taking his kindness for weakness. And so they was able to find out and drop the location on him. They knew where he was going and everything. They made sure there was a day he had on all the most expensive pieces because he was supposed to actually do the song that day at the cookie shop. They had a cameraman coming. They had a whole film production crew coming and everything because they were supposed to do like a 2-part series music video there, one for Key Glock and one for Dolph. They was going to bring all the cars out and everything. This is how they were able to drop the location so quickly. And the fact that they did it all when Dolph came back into town to do the turkey drives, man, this is like where they got him when he was actually thinking with his heart instead of thinking with his head. But at the end of the day, y'all got to realize if y'all really rocking with Young Dolph, you already would have known for a fact that he was really the one that was coming out of Memphis. It was a reason why he was named the King of Memphis and everything, and why everybody else fell back on Yo Gotti. It's a lot more Young Dolph fans than Yo Gotti, and they seen that. They knew for a fact that at the end of the day, they was losing a lot of fans. Young Dolph shows kept getting bigger and bigger. He started getting like close to 500,000 for a show. Now that he clicked up with Gucci Mane and Ralo was about to come out, they knew this in advance. They knew Ralo was just like 2 years away from getting out and linking back up with Dolph and Gucci Mane. They were supposed to start something real big with Big Scar and everybody else. This is why a lot of people got taken out, man. It's a sad situation, and we have to look at the fact of what's really going on and pay attention to and open your eyes of the actual sources in Memphis talking about how the fact that Young Dolph got set up. This is not no coincidence, man. They set up a lot of these rappers, man, and these rappers, it's the egos, man. They need to stop doing things to these rappers. They need to stop like actually trying to attack the rappers and start going at the egos, because it's the egos that keep pushing the beefs that keep going. Yo Gotti, CMG, all the ego behind that. They don't want to squash the PRE beef. They don't want to squash the problems with Dolph even after Dolph not here anymore. Yo Gotti was was still putting music out, sneak dissing Dolph, like saying, wishing him a fake happy birthday and everything like that. He was happy that Dolph was gone. And this is the reason why a lot of people, they don't respect Yo Gotti no more. They're not rocking with Yo Gotti no more. They know for a fact that Young Dolph, he was the truth in Memphis, and he was their actual neighborhood hero. Like, everybody's looking up to Young Dolph growing up and wanting to be like him and everything. And this is the real reason why he was taking it to the next level, man.